let's go into round 2, pick 39. Took my favorite draft pick of the Bears draft class, Luther Burden. Let's look at the scouting report real quick for Luther Burden. First of all, he is a very fluid and quick athlete. I think he runs some really, really good routes. He's a monster with his yards after catch ability, and I think he's got smooth, hands when catching the football. Some of the negatives, though, maybe had some off-field issues, maybe some character concerns. Nothing crazy, but just something to keep in mind. Every wide receiver is a diva these days, so I guess that's not too bad. At Missouri last year, had a few concentration drops. I don't necessarily think that those are due to poor hands. I think, again, he just kind of takes his eyes off the ball because he's such a good yak receiver. He kind of is thinking about his next step before he really reels in the ball. And there was a dip in production in 2024. Now, for the people who are concerned about his dip in production in 2024, I will ask one question. Can you tell me who Missouri's starting quarterback was last year? No, you can't? Okay, we're good. All right. So
that is very true.
Some of my thoughts on the pick, right? I love this pick. And I had Luther Burden as my wide receiver 1 in this draft. Now, you can say, well, you're a Bears fan. Of course you're saying that. I am on the internet documented saying that before the draft. So
yeah,
it's
out there.
I'm all good, right? Was wide receiver a position of need for the Bears? Not necessarily, but when you go into the top of the second round, which was pick 39, which is what the Bears had, and you have a guy who's a first-round talent, some people had, not just me, some people had him as wide receiver 1 in the draft.
Yeah.
The value is too good to pass up there. Now, I'm also going to say the Bears got unlucky in this spot because just like they did in the first round, in the top of the second round, you saw Quinshon Judkins and you saw Travion Henderson go right before the Bears pick. I believe it was 33 and 38. I know Henderson went the pick before. So could the Bears have gone for a running back here? Yeah, but the two guys that were going at the top of the second round got sniped right in front of them. I love this pick. Like I said, this is my favorite pick of the draft. This is an A for me. You get a guy who has insane yards after catch capabilities in a Ben Johnson offense. He is going to be another chess piece that Ben Johnson is going to be able to deploy for maximum damage on offense. I really, really like this pick. Now, a lot of people have compared him to DJ Moore, similar size, similar yards after catch ability. So there are some questions, I would say, or theories out there that DJ Moore's roster spot may be in jeopardy in terms of maybe we trade him. I would err on the side of I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, me neither.
He just signed a huge contract.
Deal. Yeah.
And I think the Bears are not drafting Loveland and Burden with the thought of, all right, well, now we're going to trade Kmet and Moore. I think they're drafting them with let's get as many talented receivers in this room as possible and give Caleb Williams so many different options to throw to. Gone are the days of Dante Pettis being our wide receiver 1. That is in the rearview mirror. So
thankfully.
I love this pick. This was my favorite pick the Bears made. I think it was excellent value, but obviously it wasn't a huge position of need.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Mike. I think for me, it was I'm a big fan of this pick. I think while we've already had pretty much a stacked wide receiver room anyway, I think this just brings us more development. I think this can help us. I mean, he's a speedy guy, and I think for us, we've talked about it early in this episode, but the whole purpose of this draft was to build around Caleb Williams. We need to make sure that we give him blocking, wide receiver action, tight end action, and so forth. So I am sure that Ben Johnson and his offensive coordinator will figure it out. But I think I thought it was a good pick. Yeah, and I gave it a minus. So
yeah, no complaints for me for Luther Burden.